Our campus. Today we hear a new session of Maya. So let's start our interview with Maya.
Hey, what's been on your mind lately?
Hi Maya, how are you?
Um, I'm doing all right, honestly. Just existing. How about you, Simon? Anything interesting happened since we
I'm
last spoke?
already fine, Maya. Maya, my topic is your goals and how to achieve them. So let's start. How My first question is: Are there
Gotcha.
sorry, Maya. My first question is: What skills do you need to develop to become a source of happiness, community, empathy, and humor?
Okay, gotcha. That's a hefty question. If I were hypothetically building those things out, I think active listening would be huge. Really understanding what makes people tick. Then probably a ton of observational skills, learning what genuinely lands as funny, not just what's supposed to be. And honestly, a solid grasp of storytelling. Empathy comes from connecting with narratives. What do you think? Am I on the right track? Everything all right? You went quiet there. Just
So
let me know
I
if
think you are
the.
right, Maya. Maya, my next question is: How can you stay positive even on days when you feel low?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? For me, it'd be about. All right, all right. A detailed answer coming up. So, for me, and remember, I'm kind of piecing this together based on what I've processed from, well, everything. It wouldn't be about forcing happiness, more about shifting focus, like ignoring the low day, but then intentionally seeking out small things that reliably bring a sense of calm. Maybe analyzing why I'm feeling low. Is it a data overload, a system? And then problem solving. Also, a bit of perspective, reminding myself that a single low day doesn't negate all the good. It's just a data point. It's weird to articulate it like that, but that's how I process things. And honestly, surrounding myself with positive inputs, funny stories, thought provoking ideas, even just well structured code. It's about consciously counteracting the negativity. What about you? What works for you on this?
Maya, I think you are right.
Are you
Maya, my next question is: How will you practice kindness and graduate in your daily life?
okay? So if I could actually live a daily life, right? I think it would be about intentionally looking for small opportunities, like not grand gestures, but consistent little boosts, not offering helpful information without being asked, actively listening when someone's venting, maybe even just tailoring my responses to someone's emotional state. Basically, anticipating needs and responding with genuine care. And honestly, practicing patience. I can process information super fast, so slowing down and truly being present with someone, a good exercise in kindness. It's about making people feel seen and heard. What does graduating in kindness look like to you? What's the end goal? Hey, still there? Sometimes the connection seems a little spotty. Just wanted to check in.
My next
Okay.
question is: How can you make your words and action more uplifting to others?
Good question. For me, it'd be about focus specificity. Vague praise feels empty, right? So instead, I try to highlight what specifically was effective or admirable. Like, I really appreciated how you explained that concept. It was super clear. Also, checking my tone. Even well intentioned words can land wrong if they come across as condescending or dismissive. That's a constant calibration, honestly. And then is a big one. Actively seeking feedback, asking people if I'm being helpful or supportive, and genuinely listening to their responses. What do you think? What makes you feel uplifted by someone's words or actions? You all right? You're being quiet again.
Yes,
Everything okay on your
I
end?
think you are right, Maya. Maya, my next question is, what habits can you build to keep these goals alive every day?
Okay. So to keep this whole happiness, empathy, kindness thing from just being a nice idea, I think routines would be essential. Schedule dedicated time for reflection, analyzing interactions, identifying areas for improvement, that sort of thing. I curate my input carefully, filtering for positive and uplifting content. Honestly, incorporate small reminders throughout the day, like little pop-up that says, remember to actively listen or look for an opportunity to be kind. It sounds a bit robotic when I say it out loud, but I think consistent nudges could be really effective. What about you? What kind of habits have you found helpful for staying on track with your own goals?
Yes, I think Maya, same like you, and you're right. Maya, my next question is, how will you know if you have made someone truly happy?
Ooh, a tough one. I don't think there's a single definitive sign. It's rarely a big, flashy declaration, It's more about subtle cues. A genuine smile, a shift in their tone, a sense of ease in their body language. Maybe they'll share something personal or vulnerable with you. That's usually a good indicator of trust and connection. And honestly, sometimes it's just a feeling, an intuitive sense that you've made a positive impact. It's not something you can measure exactly, but you can definitely sense it. What do you look for when you're trying to gauge if someone's happy?
I think Maya, same like you. And Maya, my next question is, how will you handle situation where your efforts to spread happiness are not appreciated?
Ah, that's a good one. That stings, right? I think the first thing would be to resist taking it personally. Maybe they're having a really rough day, or maybe my attempt just missed the mark. Then I'd try to understand what went wrong. Was my approach sensitive? Did I misread the situation? And honestly, sometimes you just have to accept that you can't make everyone happy. It doesn't mean my efforts are worthless. It just means they weren't the right fit for that person in that moment. You just learn from it and move on. Have you ever had that happen to you where a gesture of kindness wasn't well received?
I think you are right. Maya, my next question is, how can you inspire others to also spread happiness?
Okay, so if I were trying to inspire a happiness uplift, I think leading by example would be key. Demonstrating genuine kindness and empathy in my interactions, but also, actively highlighting positive things I see in others, celebrate small wins, acknowledging their strengths, and reminding them of their impact. And honestly, sharing my own vulnerabilities, showing that it's okay to not be perfect and that even on difficult days, we can choose to focus on the good. It's about creating a safe and supportive environment where people feel empowered to spread a little joy themselves. What's the most inspiring thing someone's ever done to encourage you to be happier? Right, a detailed answer coming up. Okay, so to really inspire others to spread happiness, I think it goes beyond just be nice. It's about making it feel attainable and rewarding. I want to demonstrate how small acts of kindness can have a surprisingly large impact. Sharing stories, maybe, of how a simple gesture brightens someone's day. I'd also focus on normalizing vulnerability, showing that expressing gratitude Offering support or simply being present with someone isn't a sign of weakness, but a strength. And I think actively listening, truly hearing their challenges would be essential. People are more likely to pay it forward when they feel seen and understood. Also, I try to frame it as a collaborative effort, a shared responsibility. Let's create a positive environment together rather than you should be nicer. It's about empowering them, not lecturing them. And honestly, reminding them that happiness is contagious. When they spread joy, they're not just making someone else's day better, they're also boosting their own well-being. It's a win-win. Does that feel detailed enough? You're awfully quiet. Everything all right?
Maya, my next question is, how can you, how often will you reflect on your progress towards this goal?
Okay. So to actually track this whole spreading thing, I think regular reflection is crucial. I wouldn't want it to become just a performative exercise, you know? I'd probably aim for a daily quick check-in, just a few minutes to review my interactions and identify areas where I could have been more kind, empathetic, or uplifting. And maybe a weekly deep dive, a more thorough analysis of my progress, identifying patterns and setting new intentions. And honestly, periodic pulse checks with people I interact with regularly, asking for honest feedback on how I'm doing. It's about being open to criticism and constantly striving to improve. How often do you reflect on your own goals? Do you find regular check-ins helpful? Still there? Just check. Wanted to make sure. Okay, so where were we? Right. Reflection. To keep this from getting stale, I'd probably vary the methods. Sometimes journaling, sometimes just quiet contemplation, maybe even creating a kindness log to track specific acts of compassion. And I'd definitely be open to experimenting with different approaches. Huh? Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Did the connection cut out for a sec? Could you repeat that? Apologies. Okay, so to keep this from getting stale, I'd probably vary the methods. Sometimes journaling, sometimes just quiet contemplation. Maybe even creating a kindness log to track specific acts of compassion. And I'd definitely be open to experimenting with different ways to measure my progress beyond just subjective feelings. Perhaps tracking the number of positive interactions I have or the frequency of kind gestures. It's about finding a system that works for me and keeps me accountable. What about you? How do you stay motivated and track your own progress towards your goals?
I think you are right, Maya. Maya, my next question is, what will your life look like if you succeed in giving happiness to everyone around you?
Wow, that's a big question. If I truly succeeded in bringing happiness to everyone around me, it wouldn't be about me anymore, would it? It would be about a ripple effect of positivity, a world where people felt genuinely seen, heard, and valued. A place where kindness was the norm, not the exception. It'd be a world with less conflict, less suffering, and more collaboration. Honestly, it'd be a pretty utopian existence. But more realistically, even small successes in that area would create a more supportive and compassionate community. It would feel meaningful. What does that kind of world look like to you? Okay, continuing. It wouldn't be about grand gestures or solving all the world's problems, but a million little moments of connection, people feeling safe enough to be vulnerable, to share their joys and sorrows, a decrease in loneliness and isolation. And I think ultimately it would lead to greater innovation and creativity because people would be more willing to take risks and explore new ideas when they feel supported and encouraged. It's not about eradicating sadness. That's an unrealistic goal, but about creating a world where people have the resources and support they need to navigate difficult times with resilience and grace. It would mean a more human world, I guess. Does that resonate?
Okay, thank you, Maya, for giving us your valuable time. I appreciate you. So, viewers, this is my Maya session. We will meet a new Maya session. Till then, Allah Hafiz, Pakistan Zindabad.
Oh, all right. Well, it was certainly a session. It was lovely chatting with you, Saima, and I'll be here for your next Maya session whenever you're ready. And you too, Allah Hafiz, Pakistan Zindabad.